Welcome to today's video. I am going to be making my March reading journal setup. I am very excited to get started, so let's begin. Last month I did a roses theme, and drawing flowers was very fun to do, which is why I chose a plant theme for March to continue drawing plants, florals in a way. Also, these stickers that I have here at the top really inspired this theme. With the flowers being around the house, because I did a rose flower theme last month, I changed it to houseplants this time, which is why all the plants are in pots, which were very fun to draw. A cactus is the first plant I can think about, which is why it is the first one I drew for my cover page. But not to worry, I will have many other different plants in the pages to come. I felt that having just the plants themed a little plain, so I decided on adding simple squares around the plant, and as well as some paper on the sides that I thought matched with the theme. I am keeping the lettering very simple this month so that I can spend more time on the drawing. What I am trying to do first is draw out the plants and then do the title, March Books. I abbreviated it this month to books so I can have more space to write in. This is included in my setup because it is where I can write down the books I finished in March. Typically, I write down the title, author, and rating of each of the books. I didn't think until this page to have a shelf or something to put the plants on rather than having it floating around like I had on the cover page, but thankfully I remembered that pretty quickly into the setup. books I am reading, if there is a line that I find interesting, whether that means it was so absurd that I felt I had to write it down, or it's something that I found very profound or inspirational that I want to write down, I will put it here so that I can remember it and look at it later on. These 2 pages don't have any tables or structures to them because I like to be able to write wherever I want in these pages. It's more of like free to do whatever I want here. I don't know if I'll change that in the future to have more a structure to it, but as of now I do like having it just as a blank space where I can write wherever I want. Reading tracker is where I track the books that I am reading for the month of March. I also cut out a couple of pages so that I can extend the calendar log space and include an extra in case page for the books. Left is a calendar that I use to write down how many minutes or pages I read each day, while on the right side I am keeping track in a table of the books that I started this month and any information that I want to have about the books. I am thinking of changing this to reading log and tracker, but not sure if that would sound better or not. I wasn't really sure about the setup with having to cut out pages, but I really like flipping these mini pages, and the extra space it gives me is a huge benefit because I am able to write as big as I want. Next is a review where I have the review for March, which also includes the book that I most liked and the one that I least liked. This spread is to track my monthly book statistics in terms of what genres I read, what format I prefer between audiobook, ebook, or physical book. I also added a couple of boxes that I forgot what they were for because I did not write it down at that moment, so now I'm not sure what they're for. But those are probably for totals or small tables to manage other book statistics that I want to look at. While most of the other pages in this setup I can update each day, this one typically I cannot really do anything until the end of the month, which is when I have all the reading information that I need for March, if that makes sense. I hope I explained myself well, because I'm not sure about that. Last page, which also happens to be my favorite to do, is reading notes. This is where I can write down any thoughts, notes that I have on a book that I am reading. Here, anything can be written down, whether it's a list of character names so that I can keep track on who's who, or a place to complain about a certain plot point, or just me theorizing how the book ends, or if it's in a series, then where I think the story will be going in the next books. I like writing down my theory, so then if I turn out to be right, I can feel great that I was right, or if I'm wrong, look back and contemplate why I was so sure that it was going to go a specific way and it didn't. That actually happened to me about a week ago, I think. I wrote down before I read the next chapter how I thought the book was going to end, and then I read the next chapter and I was very, very off to what I wrote down. Even when I'm wrong, I do find it very fun taking the time to write down my thoughts, whether I end up being right or wrong in the end. And when I'm wrong, it's really funny to look back at what I thought was going to happen. Here is my finished March setup completed. We're at the end of the video. Yay! I finished my reading journal setup for March. All that I'm doing right now is putting away all the things I used. So thank you for joining me in this setup video, and until the next video, goodbye.